Welcome to this video of the Fireside chat with Neo. And this time we're going to talk about something that is on every NRI's mind, which is the NRE-NRO Conundrum. Now, a lot of NRIs have difficulty in finding the right wealth creation partners in India, primarily because they're looking for something, they're not sure who has the right competencies, they're dealing with laws and taxation rules across different geographies, and there's a lot to put into thought before you make a decision as to how you want to go forward. Moreover, paperwork is always a hassle and things take a lot longer than you would like them to. So with all of this going on, it's important for an NRI investor to really think about which account works better for them. Is it the NRO, that is your non-resident ordinary rupee account, or is it the NRE, which is your non-resident external account? So in this video, we're going to take a look at what are the advantages of having an NRO account, what are the advantages of having an NRE account, which one suits whom better, and how can you use this as a tool to create wealth in India for yourselves. First, let's talk about the NRO account, because there are a lot of misconceptions about what the NRO account can actually do for a non-resident Indian. The first misconception that we're going to break is that you can actually transfer money from your NRO account to your foreign account or to your NRE account. Many of us seem to think that because it's a rupee account that we have no transaction ability to take money out of India. But that's not true. There are actually limits as to how much money you can repatriate even from your NRO account. You will need the help of a chartered accountant and you will need to submit certain proofs and documents before you're able to conduct that transaction, but it is entirely possible for you to use your NRO account and take money out of India into whichever country you're residing in. Now, the basic use for your NRO account is if you're an NRI who's already created wealth, if there's a lot of uncertainty as to whether you'll be living abroad, coming back, then an NRO account is much easier for you to handle because you have that flexibility to transact in rupees at any given point. Moreover, if you have assets like apartments, etc., and you have to pay for maintenance and all of that, there is no FX, that is your foreign exchange risk in owning an NRO account because all transactions happen in rupees. So you're able to rotate that money and keep it within India, and it makes sense to have this allocation. Now, there are a few advantages of having an NRO account. Transferring into this account is very easy. So whether it's rupees that you're transferring, whether it is foreign income that you're transferring, both of this is a very simple transaction. So transferring money into the NRO account is actually a very straightforward process. It's also very useful in the context of opening joint accounts. So let's say you're somebody who's living abroad, but your spouse or your parents are living in India, and you want to have a joint account with any of these people, then opening an NRO account is possible even if the other person is a resident Indian. So this is a very unique advantage of your NRO account. Now, moving on to the NRE or your non-resident external account, there are many advantages to having an NRE account. So the first and possibly the most well-known advantage is that any interest that you earn on your NRE deposits are actually tax-free in India. Tax from other jurisdictions may apply depending on where you live, but the income in India is not taxed. Whereas in your NRO account, whatever deposits you have are actually taxable. The second advantage that you have is that you can move in foreign assets and you can repatriate this money as and when you need it. That means if you've deposited money in your NRE account, you can again convert it into dollars at any point and take that money out. So this is a key advantage, and there is a certain level of currency risk that you're taking on when you're going to do these multiple transactions from one currency to another over a period of time. But this is a risk that every non-resident Indian has to sort of accept, because you are earning in two different currencies. You are also going to possibly have geographic diversification. So you have to deal with the good as well as the bad that comes with this advantage. The basic drawback in having an NRE account is that it's open only to non-resident Indians. So if you want to open a joint account with somebody who lives in India and is not an NRI, then you can't open an NRE account and you'll be restricted only to the NRO account. Moreover, you can invest in India through your NRE or your NRO account. Depending on your requirements, one of these accounts may actually be more appropriate than another. The basic thing being, if you're a non-resident Indian abroad, you're not sure about where your career and your life is heading, where you want to settle down, or if you're quite confident that you're going to settle down in India in the future, then maybe an NRO account makes a lot more sense, because you can keep your assets in one place, you don't take on any currency risk, and if at all the situation comes where you need to repatriate money, that flexibility is still available to you. If that's not the case and you're quite confident about what your career path and life path looks like, and you want more flexibility in taking money out of India, then you might consider the NRE account. After all, both of these are just tools for you in your wealth creation journey, and it's most important that you don't miss out the India opportunity. After all, even with everything that's going on in the world, India is one of the fastest growing economies. Indian markets are becoming more attractively valued, and you're going to have a lot more wealth creation opportunities in this country. So make sure that you take advantage of that. And if you'd like to know more about our portfolio management services that cater specifically to NRIs, you can get in touch with us on this number.